Honestly, we were more triggered by Indiana Jones' Dial of Destiny than we were triggered by this movie. By the way, it's called the American Society of Magical Negroes, in case you missed that on Friday.
Only made $1.25 million at the box office.
Yeah, but it seems like such a low-budget film. So what did they spend on it? Do you know?
There was no budget listed for this.
That's weird. That's kind of sus.
Yeah.
Kind of sketchy that they won't tell us.
I can double check.
But it's like even the critics were hating on this movie because it wasn't fully committing to the wokeness.
30% from the critics, 65% from the audience.
65 from audience is crazy though, but I guess you're already an ideologue if you're going to see it in theaters.
Yeah, it's not like there's a lot of people like us who are going for like the cringe factor.
Right.
Right. Also, like when we went to see the movie, we were like laughing at certain parts where I wasn't sure if we were supposed to laugh or not. Because nobody else in the theater
We definitely were laughing at the most inappropriate moments. Or I guess the other people in the theater didn't have as good of a sense of humor as us. But yeah, even the woke critics who you would assume would be heaping praise on this movie and on Justice Smith, they are giving it a low score. So I guess it missed the mark with just about everyone.
Yes. So here's what the IMDb ratings. There's a 4.9% gave it a 10. Only 1% gave it a 9. The reason for that is the ones who gave it a 10 are likely ideologues who don't even know whether they like it or not. They're just giving it a 10 cause.
Yeah.
Right. But the ones, you could make the argument that that many ones is probably a little bit of that as well, right? People who didn't even see the movie just gave it a 1 because the movie concept is awful.
You know, I don't honestly blame anyone who is review bombing this because I am just as tired and, you know, pissed off that they're continuing to make all of these white people bad movies. It's like this one is in the fictional universe. Killers of the Flower Moon, that was based on a true story. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the story is as long as white people are the villain. And
Correct.
People are sick of it, and I understand why they would be review bombing this, but I'm sure that plenty of those people leaving 1 out of 10 reviews actually did see the movie and gave it a chance and hated it, justifiably so.
Let me rephrase that. I believe that more people that gave it a 1 out of 10 actually watched it than those who gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say if you want to look for the most accurate representation of the numbers, look towards the middle. So I do believe that like the 2 out of 10s are probably pretty accurate. Your 7 out of 10s are probably like, I would actually like to believe that the people who went and saw the movie and really wanted to like it and are ideologically inclined, but not totally morally bankrupt, gave it a 7.
The film's director, Kobe Libby, made it abundantly clear that the goal of this film was to lecture people and use it as a bludgeon to achieve political power. He told NBC News this conversation around the expectation that black people are prioritizing white comfort over our own history and our own sense of self is an incredibly contemporary problem. That's happening politically in America right now. You see these laws being passed in places like Florida around what black history is taught that are literally saying that elements of black history, things that really happened in America, cannot be said out loud in the classroom if it makes white kids uncomfortable. I have no idea what laws he's referring to here. He reiterated in a more recent interview about the magical Negro trope. It's a stock character, a recurring character that typically white writers have employed across movies and history, a black character who only exists to support the white lead. They don't really have their own internal life. They're not really a three-dimensional person. Okay, so if you're trying to make a movie that combats this racist trope of the magical Negro character because you think that it doesn't have enough depth and isn't written as a complete person, your idea of combating that racist trope is to just flip it around on white people and write all of your white characters to be magical crackers. That was his idea. Let's just write this dumb white coworker Jason as you said, Brett, a characteristic buffoon who is entirely selfish, narcissistic. He has no interior life. He has no thoughts of his own. He has no independent thought. He's not good at his job. He has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. So how about you wrote a movie where every character gets to be a full person with a backstory and a personality? That would actually remedy this problem.
Yep,
but you are incapable of doing that.
Because the 2000s already did it, and they don't know how to do it themselves. Also, I believe that when people were writing these tropes before, they were not written from a place of malice, where everything being written today is absolutely done from a place of malice, because they've reached a point of racial consciousness, meaning that it's employed in their thoughts while they're writing it, right? So they're not able to write these characters with good intentions. Whereas in the past, I don't think it was done with ill intent.
I love how their claim is that all white people in society, in this critical race theory worldview, have an unconscious bias toward black people or just non-white people in general. I think what's way worse is that now ideologues like Kobe Libby or like Justice Smith, who are black, have a conscious bias against white people. I think that's far more insidious than white people having unconscious bias, which they have theoretically zero control over because it's conditioned into them from birth.
The movie was predicted to have made $3 million over the opening weekend, and it came up $2 million shy of that goal. So it just shows you that the general public of all races, creeds, and colors have no desire to go see this film.
I just want to double check if they actually didn't report their budget. Because that seems really fishy, why they wouldn't do that.
I mean, it may come out later.
I'm not seeing any numbers here. Yeah. Well, this is from, what studio was this? Focus Features?
It was Focus, yep.
Okay. I don't know any of, no other projects from them come to mind right now. Are they known for this?
Focus is an offshoot of one of the bigger studios, though I can't remember which one off the top of my head. But the point is that it was never going to make a ton of money, and under $3 million makes about perfect sense. And it just shows you that the public has no interest to watch stuff like this.
The funny thing is you don't even need to boycott these people anymore. You don't even need to boycott these companies because they're essentially boycotting themselves. They're doing all the work for us.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.